Wendy Sinnamon is from Portadown and has been faffing about with words for as long as she can remember. A master of the craft, recognised by the spirit of Seamus Heaney himself, she is a twice shortlistee for the Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing, an Arts Council Northern Ireland recipient, and is currently studying towards a Masters in English Literature. She is co-founder of Taverna Writers Group and the Lamplight Open Mic. Her story is simply and very cleverly called He, Minimalist, like a headstone inscription.
He was amazing. I remember watching him perched on a small wooden stool in his garage as he worked for hours, twisting, manipulating, inflating. The memory is blurry. Geometric shapes, bulbous ovals, long, lithe cylinders, primary colours gleaming under the bright strip lighting. And then later there were smiles, hundreds of smiles, laughter. He was incredible. He didn't get paid for his effort. Their wee faces are payment enough. Then, my mother. You can't feed a family with childish grins. She never understood, but I did. I still do. He was already planning for this year's festival, sketching designs in his notebook, the garage door pulled closed. I spotted his pencil. It had rolled under the door and settled itself in the drain, a bright red pencil lying in a mulch of black leaves. It looked so wrong. I knew what had happened. The helium arrived the day before his funeral. 3 tanks filled with this precious and rare commodity, as rare and as precious as he was. His creations were flawless. Among the usual cats and dogs, he would create crocodiles, octopi, huge orca whales, glistening monochrome like they'd jumped straight out of the ocean. He would pile them all into a giant cardboard box, strings attached and weighed down. The crowd would clear a path just in front of the bandstand. Silence. A collective holding of breath until my father would open the box and release into the world his menagerie, and the crowd would release their breath. Gasps of delight and wonder soaring up into the blue July sky. It was miraculous. He gave life to those balloons, not just through the twisting and inflating. He poured his soul into each one, his care and effort, his love. He would spend the rest of the festival handing them out to the children, cutting the strings and tying them to their bony wrists. Their laughter would fill the green expanse of the park until the balloons would inevitably start to deflate. Their smiles would turn to frowns, tears, as the life slowly eked out of their new friends. Nothing lasts forever, Becca. He insisted on using latex. Latex is composed of around 60% water, about the same as the human body. Like skin, it is malleable. It can withstand intense manipulation, but, unfortunately, it does not hold the helium as securely as mylar. After a few hours, the colourful animals would start to slump and wane, becoming limp, becoming lifeless. I couldn't bring myself to look at his notebook until the morning of his funeral. I felt ridiculous, going into his garage dressed in formal black, my heels click-clacking across the bare cement floor. An absurd procession. I felt like I was trespassing. It was going to be his greatest work yet, a life-size recreation. I studied the drawings for hours. It was human, that much was clear, but who it was meant to be, I couldn't tell. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I threw his book across the garage. I was angry at his scant drawings, at him. It bounced off the closed door and landed. A folded page skidded out. It was a face, sketched in light 2B. It was my face. He was planning to make me. I fell to my knees and cried. I turn 40 this year. This was going to be his present, his gift. I ripped the page apart. How could he? Why? He owes me nothing. I don't deserve this. The time of his funeral came and went. I stripped out of my dress. I stood naked in his garage, watching my reflection in the window. Under the bright light, it looked as if it had a life of its own. I looked like him. An idea hit me. I felt like I had been struck by lightning, touched by Promethean fire. The incisions would need to be exact, of course. Removing the bone and the muscle would be the most strenuous part. It wouldn't be easy. Nothing worthwhile ever is. But to see the smiles on their wee faces, to hear their laughter as I open the box.